Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarappel, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. 3 burnouts, ridiculed by those around her as being the odd one out, always being ahead of her time. Her element is water. She can say thank you in 23 languages, the most important word, and her daughter's named after a heroine. Today's guest is as diverse as her introduction and guaranteed to empower your body, mind, and soul. Please help me in welcoming today's guest, Nicole Haut-CAVEGN, the founder of Life Junkie Fitness and Coaching. Hello, Nicole.
Hello, what a lovely introduction. Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias. It's a pleasure. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. And I'm feeling taller now. Thank you.
I like pushing the ego. That's pretty
cool.
So, Mrs. No Bullshit and Self-Empowerment Lady, shall we get cracking and dive into your awesomeness?
Oh, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So, I would love to know, share with us why you wanted to create Life Junkie World with fitness and coaching.
Why? Actually, I never thought about creating something like this. It was growing, you know. One leads to the other and everything. But I think the idea, the hint behind, or my purpose behind, is to empower women. Men as well, but the main focus is women, because I see so many great women. They have so many diamonds and pearls inside. And for me, it's like the biggest joy if I can give them just a little thing, a little help to make them more shining inside out. This is really fulfilling for me.
You come from a fitness background, dance background, and coaching. Mm-hmm. And you also had 3 burnouts, which is pretty hectic. Was this during the time of fitness and coaching, or was it afterwards?
I guess in life, it's not about one or the other. It's always about both at the same time. And I think this was why I had these burnouts as well, because everything is very fast. Everything is changing very fast. And I'm a person who's changing fast as well. So I think sometimes I was too much for myself and life was too much, because I wanted so much, but I didn't know how to find the channels for it, for my ideas and everything. I had just a big overwhelm. And so I always felt this need inside of me to make a positive impact, to empower people, but I couldn't figure out exactly how and when and why and whatever. And I think that was confusing me a lot and cost me a lot of energy. And beside to this, why I had 3 burnouts, I mean, I'm just a maniac. Actually, that's enough explanation. But it's just like I gave so much, and I had to learn, actually through this burnout as well, I had to learn how to be the best body of myself as well, because I'm a giver, I'm an empath, you know, and I'm sure the girls listening here, the ladies listening here, a lot of you know this as well. It's like you give, and nobody asked for this. You do it by your own, but you forget yourself. And I always say you can't drink out of an empty cup. So that's what I had to learn, and that's what I help people today to refill their cup with their own juice. And this was my topic as well.
I love that. How did you get into fitness, and how did you get into coaching, and what is Life Junkie Fitness and Coaching?
Well, the fitness part is funny because I was never interested in fitness. I was a dancer, and I started with dancing when I was 4, and I have no idea how I came to this. Really, I have no idea. My mother is always saying, I was standing there once, I was 4, and I was saying to her, listen, I want to go for dancing. And she was like, okay, well, I've heard something about a school somewhere there, and that's how it started. I have no idea, really, no idea. So I was going there, of course, for ballet, like every little girl starts. But I didn't stay long with ballet, you can imagine. I came to my mother again and I said, listen, this music is boring. I want to go to the jazz dance because I saw that the older one, I want to go there. I have the nicer music. music. So this was the time of Michael Jackson and everything. This was really wow. I want to go there too with 6. So I learned a lot of different dance styles. And when I finished my school, I had a short time before I went to the university. And it was really a hazard, coincidence. The mother of my boyfriend those days said to me, listen, in the gym around the corner, they need someone helping the people do the check-in and everything. Do you have time? And I was like, yes, of course I have time. So I was standing there and the next said to me, listen, we need some group fitness instructors. Do you have time? That's how it started. So, and then for me, it was fascinating because I worked as a dancer those days and I actually made my money for my studies with dancing. And I was standing on stage and in the spotlight, really, the show was on and everything. And I was standing there and all I had in my mind was the laundry at home. And that was the moment for me. I think I was doing cancan, smashing your legs up and down and everything. And you are thinking about your laundry at home. And that was the moment I knew I need something new. I'm done with it. I'm done with stage. It was nice, but it's fine. So it was like kind of perfect timing that fitness came. And the new challenge was, and there we have already a little bit the idea of empowering in it. It was not only about, if you're on stage as a dancer, you know how it is on stage. It's about inspiring people. Of course, it's about transporting emotions, but it's not the same as when you're teaching, because when you're teaching, it's about transporting this emotion and then you see it in their bodies, in their face, when they got the feeling as well. And this is so wow. And you see how they grow inside out, how they start to shine. And that is, for me, way more interesting. And that's how it came. And coaching actually was a hazard as well. Well, I studied psychology. And besides to this, my first troubles with the first burnout and everything started. And I had the chance to dive into a coaching education for a really good price those days. And I just said yes, because I'm a very curious person and there's discovering life. That's why my concept is called a life junkie. Is for me the biggest thing. It's about discovering ourselves, the others, human beings, the world, whatever. I think it's the constant growth is what keeps me going. And yeah, that's now I lost my track, but I'm sure you'll bring it back to me. Right?
I'll bring it back. So, this is all based in Switzerland, but you did a lot of international fitness events. So you were able to not only experience things on stage, international and different cultures, but then absorb those cultures and then bring it within your concept and to Europe.
Yes, what really fascinated me those days was it didn't matter if I were in Israel or in Buenos Aires or in United States or in Europe somewhere or in Switzerland. I could see this sparks. Sparks, is it the right word? I think the spark in the eyes of the ladies, and I could see this beauty. And that was really fascinating for myself. And I asked myself, listen, we all have something in common. And dance is a great way to awake these positive emotions, this positive growth in people. And then the point where I realized I have to do something was when I was on this event, especially abroad. People came after my classes and asked myself, hi, that was really cool. Where can I learn this? And for me, first, it was a kind of strange question because for me, it was like, I'm doing dance fitness like a lot of other guys as well. So, well, go to your school here in your city and go there. But then after a while, I figured out they asking for something special. So it was like something in the way how I teach must be different. And I started to ask the girls around me here in Switzerland. I started to ask them because you know how this is. If you're doing something since quite a while, you don't know what you do. It's like the unconscious knowledge you have. And in this state, it's hard to make it conscious again. So I need the help from the outside. And then we did the concept. I did the structure for this education for dances and the funk later. The funk was later. And that's how it started. And
are those your two programs in fitness? Oh, dances.
We have two programs. One is more the fusion of dance with cardio workout. And the other one is more dance with a functional workout. And it's a HIIT training. It's a short one. It's a 30 minutes workout. And both are just beautiful because they are so diverse. And I made them so diverse because I get bored very fast, you know.
Me too.
And women are so diverse. But although we all have these different aspects, we all have them. And I figured out it's like the elements of earth. It's like them, the water, the fire, the air, and earth. We all have this in ourselves. It's like they do it in yoga as well and everywhere. So, but we are the first who do this with dance. And that's why we have 4 styles, and each style representing another element. And an other aspect of my female being or my being. And that's what's really, really cool and makes it really diverse, because you can discover yourself always new.
Speaking of elements, why do you think, I mean, my element is water and earth. I mean, I'm an African queen. Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, there's nothing more empowering when I'm needing to connect with an element or needing to connect with my creativity or wisdom than to either hop into the shower and just feel the water, or run in the rain, or alternatively, which I don't have here in Austria anymore, but the African sand, and it's very fine and coarse, and there's stones as well, so you barefoot on the sand, and when it rains it just hits that hot earth. I digress, but anyway. So why do you think the elements, the earth, wind, fire, air, are so important for our creativity and well-being and life junkie world?
Well, look at this planet. The whole planet needs all of them. And we are part of this planet. And it's like, maybe it's a way how we get reconnected to ourselves as a part of this planet. Maybe not only this planet, maybe this universe or those universe, who knows that? I think for me, it's kind of reconnecting. And which channel we choose, which element we choose, this is maybe because of our history in this life. And if they were other lives before, because come on, nobody knows if this is real or not. It's just an idea, and you like it or you don't like it, and it doesn't matter at all, because it's the same if it's this life or then it's many lives. So who cares? It's always the same idea, the experiences we made there and in this life. And I think that's why we choose. And for example, me, you said it with your example, you grown up in Africa, so it makes sense that you have this connection to the earth and this African, I can feel it, it's like this tribal thing and everything. This is awesome. And for me, I'm grown up at the lake, but I'm sure it's not only this, but I'm a Swiss. What's the first thing you're thinking at if you hear Switzerland? Next to the chocolate, mountains, right? Mountains. But for me, mountains, I mean, they are awesome. They're beautiful. And I like it to be there, but it's never touched me that much like the sea does, or a lake does, water does. So it's different.
Wow. I like that connection or reconnection. How does one live life on their own terms? Can you share?
How they do this? In their own way. But I think what it needs, maybe.
Or what it is. What's living life on your own terms?
It means that you really go for your own shit. It means that you first, know what's really important for you. This is the first step. It's get this clarity. What's really important for me, really. And what keeps me getting up every morning, and what gives me this deep feeling of fulfillment. What makes me deeply happy, and where I read somewhere once where I forgot to pee and to poo, so yes, kind of this stuff. And this is the first thing. But then the second thing is to know how to keep your own juice, your cup full of your juice, because life is life. And sometimes life is a bitch. It's not a beach, it's a bitch. But it's good. The challenges we want to, and our soul is looking for, but we have to take care on ourselves to keep going, to not lose our thread through this special adventure. And these two things are very important for me, to really live life on your own term, and then also to let go old bullshit. So you see, it's always about 3 areas. If you look at it time-wise, it's always about the past. It's about free yourself from old shit from the past you don't need anymore, but also to reactivate your resources from your past. There's a lot of good things, lessons learned about yourself, skills you developed and everything. And then it's about living now. This means to keep your cup full and also not to miss the moment. This is a challenge for all of us who are always looking to the future. This is the third area. If you're a visionary, and hello, welcome to the club. If you're a visionary, you always know what's coming next, and you're always there with your mind and everything. But this can be very frustrating. I think that was another reason for one of my burnouts as well, because I was so frustrated not being there where I wanted to be. So it's really about bringing yourself back to the now, because you don't know if there will be a tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know this is not a nice, we don't like to hear that, but it's a fact.
It's a fact.
And to live it in the now fully, to enjoy it, even just the little things, and not to lose your path, your vision you have, but to come back into the now again and again. So it's about, and that's the interesting game is this, to find the balance between these three areas, past and now and future, and hopping around. And this is the very interesting thing. And it's so great. You can grow a lot with this because your brain gives a fuck if it's past, if it's now, or if it's future. It's not really able to see a difference in it.
Oh yeah, so there's no differentiation with time.
Yeah, it's not your brain neurologically seen. It's not really possible for the brain to make a difference.
Oh wow.
For example, that's why somebody can have a huge phobia, like for spiders. You just say the word spider and he freaks out, even there's no spider here. So it's not the reality now. It's just a feeling they know from the past, and suddenly the past is now. And this is really interesting with the brain and everything. So we can use this here positively to stay in our power, to enjoy life, and to keep going in the right direction.
I love that. You mentioned I find a very important word, and it's also one of my soul clients, visionary. What's it like being a visionary?
Exhausting.
Exhausting.
No, that was just a joke. Well, it can be exhausting, you know. It means, in a way, always going for the extra mile. It's like, I want to show you a little example. I did a meditation yesterday. I recovered one with my voice, and I'm used to do this since 10 years or 15 years. And I learned this technique, and I know what is important with voice and everything. And I did it, and I listened to it, and I was like, it's a good one. It's fine. It's a good meditation. But is this me? I was already looking for the question in it. I was asking myself, without losing the good aspects of meditation, basics, what can I change to make it more me? What could I do different, more colorful, whatever? Then I was thinking like, damn, why? It would be so easy just to do a meditation, you know? But it would be boring for a person like me. So I think being a visionary, but you are the expert with this. I mean, this is these are your soul clients. So maybe I should ask you this question. And I actually learned a lot about this while we were working together. I really have to say, I realized I'm a visionary. And I think sometimes you feel lonely because you are ahead of your time sometimes, but you will also find similar people like we met. And this is very inspiring and very helpful. So what I learned the last year was really to team up with like-minded people and who are visionary as well, because it's sometimes hard for others to understand how visionary people think or behave or how they work and whatever. This is really, really inspiring and helpful to refill my cup.
Yeah, community and support is extremely important. Especially, I mean, do you find that visionaries also, this is how it's perceived, that visionaries can see into the future and they have their little globe and they're able to see what's going to be happening and predict things? Is that, I know for myself, being a visionary, that's not what it is. It's just you have a feeling towards the future and in which direction it's going, and you're able to not see the exact thing or what's happening, but you just see the image or the vision of what's supposed to be there. And then the hows just come easier because you're like, oh, okay, it's over there, so I know what to do with that, and I just go check, and then work back from there. How do you, or how have you had it that people perceive you being a visionary? Like, what have they boxed you in as?
Well, I had to ask them. I think it's this aspect I was talking about, doing things always a little bit different. And I was like this when I was a child already. It was, my mother was really exhausted with having me as a kid, because she always said to me, oh, girl, please just play like the other kids. Please just play. Because I always had these big ideas, you know, what I wanted to do. I wanted to do like a band room. I wanted to do my little mafia in the area where we lived. And I wanted to do a circus in our garden. And not just the circus, you know, it was with the popcorn area and with everything. And it was just too much for my mother. And for me, I felt often limited because for me, the thinking big was normal. And living in a country country like Switzerland, and please, as much as I love this country, thinking big is not the main topic here. It's a little bit, it's so exhausting. That was a challenge for me. I think this thinking big is a part, and this thinking in very detailed pictures. Not only see a result, always see it in little details.
Yeah.
And this is the overwhelming part sometimes. And this craziness, maybe. It's a little bit loco. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And maybe everyone has this part in itself, but it's just some of us live it, after it, follow it, and others, they don't. I don't think it's so something special at all. I think everybody could go this direction, but it's not an easy one. So you choose.
Yeah.
It's always about our decisions. We always have different options, and that's what, if you're asking if it's about seeing the future, I think it's about creating future, because there is no reality.
Yeah.
That's what I have to tell myself again and again. There is no reality. There is always only our reality, and we create it every day, on and on. And so if we see our future in front of us, it's one picture we have, how it could be, and then we have to decide if we really want to go for this. And then life is crossing your ways. It's like life is coming and say, hello, I'm here too, I have my ideas as well, so let's see how we bring it together. And then this is maybe a reason why this is so funny that you're asking this, because I just saw on Facebook a little video about the founder of Alibaba. May, I think is his family name, and they were talking about his story and how often he failed. It's crazy. He always failed. It's a story of failing, actually. And even with Alibaba, he failed first, nearly. So it's really impressive. He never gave up. Maybe that's another part as well. What do you think?
I do think that visionaries don't give up that easy, because it is quite a lonely path. And you've said something very, very important, and that is that visionaries choose the role. We're all visionaries. We get the idea and we choose it, or ideas, and we choose to go with it and flow with it, or not flow with it, put it into action. And I know of a lot of visionaries that are very hesitant to take on the role because they're like, it's hard, it's too much work. I've seen people suffer, or they saw their parents suffer, how the family suffered with it, and they were like, I don't want to take it on, I just don't want it. So here's a thing of choice.
Yes, it's a decision you make. But on the other hand, I never really had the choice. At the end, you don't have it. At the end, if you want to go really for life, living on your own term, if you really want to live an authentic life, then you just can't. It's not in your blood. It's not your way. And even if it might be exhausting, even if it might be full of failure or whatever, it's the way how you are. And then again, to not burn out, because there's a lot of fire in you. Not to burn out, it's really, really important to have a good self-empowerment. That means to know how you strengthen yourself, because you will be alone often, or you will feel like you're alone, and you need to know how to refill your cup with your own juice. You need to know where's the source of your juice. Where is it coming from? Which elements helps you with this?
Exactly. I was just going to say.
And then team up, then create the world around you, help to create it, that it's a world around you helping you, supporting you, believing in you and your ideas. If you don't, because there will be situations you won't, and then you'll need these people to keep you on track, and this is totally fine and okay.
We need that. We definitely need that. We have to keep us on track. Let's fast forward a few years, because time doesn't exist, where your daughter Zora is just as stubborn as mama and papa, and she says, Garth, I am out of here. I want to go and open my own business. I want to go do my own thing. I want to be a dancer. What would you advise her?
If I could see the spark in her eyes and I really could feel this is her thing, I would say go for it. In the case of being a dancer, because you have a high risk, because you have only one body, and if you get injured, it's over. And it's, as a dancer today, it's over very, very early and very, very fast. So of course the mommy in me would recommend her to do second education, just to have a backup. And as I feel Zora now, but we'll see, there's a lot of time until then, thanks God. But as I feel her now, I think she will have different talents. So it won't be that hard to make it attractive to her, to build her a solid base on different aspects. Because I think this is so crazy. We have to choose our job when we are 16 or 18 or 20, but you don't know yourself those days completely. You know maybe about your one passion, but it might be there are others as well. And that's why for me it's so important, this life junkie idea, to bring it to kids and teenagers as well, because these are basics so helpful for life, and that's what school should teach them. How they really get in touch with themselves and how they know themselves, and that they already as a kid learn how to refill their cup. So this will be very empowering for them, and I think then they will make the better decisions. Better in the meaning of more precise and more fulfilling.
And more their decisions and not so much being influenced by others.
Yes, because of course, I mean, I went to study, of course, because I'm a curious person, but also because you just do it. And to be honest, what should I have done otherwise? Or else? I mean, really, I mean, most of the people go to university out of this reason.
Yeah, what else should I do?
Yeah, and then if I think how much things you learn there and know what's just first not interesting and second not helpful. But this is another topic we could talk about hours, you know.
That's also true. So we're unfortunately coming to the end of the show or the interview today. And I ask all my guests 2 questions at the end, and they're my core values. And I'd like your take on my core values by filling in the blank. So creativity for you is?
To do things in your own colorful way.
I like that. Passion for you is?
The fire in you.
Wisdom for you is?
Wisdom is having made a lot of experiences, conclusions, and although to know that you know nothing and to stay open and curious for the new.
Oh, I love that. That really resonates with me. I love that. How do you want to change the world or challenge the world doing what you do?
I'm not sure if I wanted to challenge them. I think it's more, I want to empower them. It's more like a, yes, it's okay. Yes, I'm fine how I am. Yes, this is more this. It's not the challenging thing. It's more the awakening thing maybe, or the reactivating part and the empowering part.
Love that.
To be more authentic and respectful to each other. I think if we really start to love and appreciate ourselves, we would have less terrorism, we would have less wars and whatever, because if you're really authentic and if you're really respectful to yourself and to others, you just can't do stuff like this. You just can't.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you so much, Nicole, for being with us here today and sharing your
my pleasure.
And creativity and passion. You can find out more about Nicole at lifejunkiefitness.com and lifejunkycoaching.com. We'll be popping into the show notes a few freebies from her, a few of her favorite quotes and her favorite books or book. And I hope to have you on the show again. Thank you so much for being with us.
I say thank you, and I'm looking forward to meet to get in touch with a few of you. Maybe just send me an email, add me on Facebook, whatever, because I love to discover this planet. So say hello.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Sashka.
Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.